that people like their Gear VRs. The satisfaction is good, but there's just not enough relative to what you have on the web or another mature platform to do in VR. So we have hundreds of applications in the store right now, and one of the things that's been very interesting for me recently is kind of getting on the channel of our application submissions and seeing all of the applications that are sort of plowing into our ecosystem. And in almost everything, there's some little grain of, of greatness or something that's going to be wonderful, but almost everything has a ton of flaws. Many of them are purely technical things that can be addressed. Some of them are design related, but they're all things that sometimes I look through this stuff and I see, our team going over dozens and dozens of applications, and I think that, if only we could spend a few more hours with each of these and kind of give them the right push at the right time and let them kind of do the last quarter of their development effort with a little bit more feedback, then we could really dramatically improve the quality of everything that, that we've got. So this is really my major theme throughout this entire Oculus Connect. Not so much about what the hardware is, what we're doing with the hardware, where we're going next. And yeah, there's tons of exciting stuff about what's going to be built over the next few years and how that's going to be better. But my thesis from the beginning has been that what we can do right now with GearVR is actually good enough to deliver a lot of value. It can't do everything. You don't want to really do productivity apps with our current resolutions. The limited refresh rate has some problems. The lack of position tracking is problematic for some applications. But if you factor all of those things in, there's a ton of things that we can do that are really valuable, that that make people smile, that make them happy that they're doing that. And beyond that initial sort of sense of wonder that we get really that's a gimmick that you get with VR. It's like, wow, I can look around. It's taking things to the level that you're providing real sustainable value beyond that first flash of this is novel and this is something that, that I've never seen before. So, at a level of a design, for design feedback, this is actually all my opinions, where we have some stuff that's official Oculus design guidelines. I will diverge from those in some places. I'll spend a lot of time pointing out how I don't think the apps that Oculus has shipped, what their flaws are, what they're not doing a great job at, because we're learning as we go along as well. Some of this still does wind up just being my opinion, and I can be completely wrong about things, but some of this is starting to be backed up by we are getting sort of the analytics and analysis machine churning on things. We're doing some UI experiments and learning. There are some better and worse ways of doing things. And there's also some sort of physiological and hardware-related things where you can say things are objectively better or worse. But some of this is just going to be my random opinions about applications and the way I think they should be. So take it or leave it on all of the different advice. So I think we have three applications that were pre-selected initially that we're going to go spend some time on, and then it's just going to be open to anybody that's brought an application. I'm happy to take a look at it, give me your caveats for the state of things, and I'll try to provide useful critique. That's really my whole point here is to that months from now we look back and say things are in a better state because of some feedback that was gained here. So. Why don't I go ahead and let the first app developer give a little bit of an overview of what they're doing. And again, this is going to be boring me inside here, but I'll try to talk through exactly what I'm seeing as I look at it.
Sure. So I have a company called Specular Theory, and we create cinematic content. So essentially the app is very much a player, but we try to break new ground in the way that we approach the technology and tell stories and create immersive experiences in a way that's unique and uniquely designed to be VR and cinematic experiences. So our app is really a player, and then we release content ongoing throughout the year. We have new things coming. Like you point out, we look at the analytics and try to figure out what people really enjoy and the things they want to experience, and we kind of cater to that with our audience.
So one of the things as an ecosystem that we look at, and it does seem like something feels a little bit wrong that we have so many independent video aggregators, and we're taking some of the steps like the what's new things that are coming in. We're partnering with different aggregators so you can show up on what's new. If you make if you get set up with that, which I think is important because there's this slow migration to a feed-like environment, which Facebook has shown is probably the most useful metaphor in the world for user interface like that. But it does still feel a little bit awkward and weird that we have Oculus Video, Milk VR, Discovery Channel, and there's like 10 or 15 little aggregators that have different collections of videos. And that's probably not really the long-term approach, where I think that eventually you've got a situation where content creators, just like right now you're making your own camera rigs, you're making your own app, that's probably not the end goal of, of where we want to be with that. We want content creators to be building content and somehow coming together into for best exposure, best. We still have no monetization framework for video. We talk about, can we have at least a tip jar or something so that you can say, I really like that video, I want to give them a quarter. We need to get some path there, and that's probably something that comes in at the app ecosystem level, where some combination of Facebook infrastructure and an Oculus platform and Oculus developer arrangements, and there's things that we need to do there that really aren't even underway. There's some vague efforts going on, but there's also the technical challenges of streaming versus downloading, and we have the Facebook ingestion pipeline with the view-dependent streaming, which is still a technical work in progress, but for certain types of things that don't require really fast slewing can give really large quality improvements. But 3D is coming in, positional audio is coming in. So do you use positional audio in
We
your
do.
rigs?
We use 2 big ears and also Atmos VR. So we support both those in the apps, so both formats. As you pointed out wisely before, I mean, the audio, if you look at a traditional movie, the audio is 50–60% of the experience. In VR, I would argue it's even much more than that. So the audio is just crucial, not only in determining where you are, but just really making you feel like you're in that environment and you're not wearing a headset in front of 100 people, but you're actually there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that